you were talking about your founding partner at school, and you said that he was pursuing a CTO, and he
Mhm.
said, if we can get this guy, he'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So many entrepreneurs that are starting in business have that thought sometimes. They think if I could just get that guy from that amazing company to come join our garage where we're building this new startup, it would change our fortunes. But how? How do I get a truly exceptional person who is being paid shit tons of money, who has a comfortable job, who has security to come join me in my bedroom?
Well, I think there's the soft and the hard side, right? So the hard side is compensation. Maybe you don't have as much cash, so it's like you're going to have a few levers at your disposal. So you have, what do you pay them in cash? What's their upside if there's equity or shares that you're going to give them? This is obviously if it's a software business. You can, and it's probably worth segmenting this. So if you're not in a software company, which is probably the vast majority of people listening to this, there are four elements within equity that exist. You have control, so who gets to call the shots? You have risk, what happens if everything goes wrong? Who's liable? You have profits, which is the cash flow of the business, who gets distributions, and then basically sale or enterprise value, when we sell or if we sell, who gets to participate in that upside. Those are kind of the four elements of equity. Now, the thing is that you can obviously grant shares or you can give stock in a company. That's one way of doing it. But you can also basically contract around any of these things. Now, most of the times they don't want the risk,
Mhm.
and they probably won't get the control if it's your company. So you really just have profit, and you have upside in terms of a sale. And so you can contract these things, and there's lots of structures. So I'm not going to get into legal around this. But asking somebody, "What do you want?" Sometimes it's just a very powerful way of beginning this. And my favorite question for these types of scenarios is asking, "What would it take?" So when you have this guy, it's like, man, it would be amazing. Like, how do I sell this guy? I just ask him what would sell you. So say, what would it take? Because I don't know. He'll tell me.
Mm.
And I love that frame because it assumes yes.
Mm.
It assumes you're going to come. So what would it take?
So many of the books that you write and so much of the content you make centers on this idea of sales,
Yeah,
and it is a sale, isn't it?
totally.
And I always think about the Steve Jobs quote where he met with, was it John Scully, who was
Mhm.
working at like Pepsi, and he said, "Do you want to continue selling sugar water for the rest of your life, or do you want to come change the world?"
Yeah.
How does that sort of emotional, psychological element of the sale factor into it? Persuading someone exceptional to come and join your mission?